Ultimately, what led you to pursue real estate? Did you leave the family business and jump right into the real estate side of things, or did you have another career choice?
Yeah, no, I mean, we were doing real estate, but development and things like
Right.
that. And then I saw the writing on the wall. So I ended up going into the residential brokerage as a side thing. My mom was a broker with HER in the day. And then so she became my broker, and I had another partner. So it was kind of my exit strategy was to get into the residential component. And that's kind of how I eventually unpeeled myself from that. And then I was probably independent brokerage for 15, 18 years, something like that.
I'm just curious. Normally when I ask people about getting into the business, right? Did you have supporters? Did you have doubters? For you, obviously, I'm sure you had supporters just because of the family history and things like that. But, did you really thrive? Did you have supporters? Did you have doubters? What did you thrive on?
Well, I thrive on doubters. I didn't need supporters. I'm very driven. So honestly, I wasn't looking for supporters or doubters. I just realized I needed to do something, and I used that to do something in a direction that I liked. So
Yeah.
so yeah, it worked very well for me.
And what made you specifically go more of being in the broker owner side of things as opposed to, um, just real estate agent being at a brokerage?
Mm, I guess my nature. I'm okay with being in control or running things, and I've always had kind of an anti-view of stuff. Like, yeah, back in the day, I was really into buyer agency. That was an up and coming thing, and instead of work, everybody worked for the listing agent, and so I've not always interesting. Sometimes it serves me well, sometimes it not, is bucking trends a little bit, like being really early in downtown development and kind of being early into buyer agency. You know, that kind of stuff can work well, but sometimes the first to the show doesn't always benefit the most. So, I've had some learning curves along the way. So
Yeah, let's dive into those. What were some of you're the second broker owner I've ever had on here, right, to share their journey. And I think it's a unique path. And I think, a lot of times agents see that as the next step in their growth, right, in their potential of what they want to do with the business. But what were some of those early successes and early struggles? Like, what were some of the teaching moments?
we'll talk about that. Then we can get back to agents, whether they should be a broker or not. Oh, the biggest teaching moment was 2008, and having an anchor tied around my neck, and someone dropped me off a boat in really deep water. So, um, you know, it was a horrifying experience. I was doing well in development and really just learned the lessons of how banks work. I had a bank, I had a condo that was halfway built, and the market crashed, and rented the rest of them out, paying the mortgage, and the bank said, "Yeah, you're in default. We'll just take it back because we can make more money." So, I've literally had a whole development taken out from underneath me when, I was able to make the payments, but they didn't care. So I've learned to really be careful about the risk, because the returns are good, but people don't realize the returns are good because the risks are real. And sometimes things will change against you and you can't control it. So be careful about what exposure you have to debt and to risk. I'm not saying don't take risk, but
Right.
don't be sitting there counting the money and thinking about, oh, look, I can do this, this, and this, because things change. And, be prepared.
Yeah, and I think too, you see the progression of a real estate agent, right? It's, they're getting into the business and then they start picking up business and they're starting to crush business. Then it's like, okay, I want to go and now build a team, right? Because I have all of these problems that I need to solve for. And then, the team turns into, I need to go start my own brokerage. But I think too, what you just said there is a lot of people don't factor in the risk of growing, the responsibility that you have, with that. And I think sometimes, my coach always tells me it's problems are, never go away. It's just what problems do you want to solve for? You have a whole different set of problems that, someone running a team does versus someone with an individual agent. So